This meeting is being recorded.
Luana, how's it going? Oh, she's not connected yet. Give her a second. Luana, how are you?
I'm well. How are you? My first time joining, so I just want to pop in and see what's going on.
Oh, yeah, no, that's great. This is welcome to Speaker Hub. I'm Ron Story. I am the head of product at Speaker Hub, and we're joined by Angela Lewis, who's over our operations, and Maria, who's our head designer. We have a full-time team of about 17 people at Speaker Hub with another 15 or so that work with us on contract basis. But we meet every day from noon to 1 to answer questions to help more speakers get booked. Whether you're one of our customers or not, you're always welcome to hop in to ask questions about how you can get on more stages. You want to tell us a little bit more about what you do?
Sure, absolutely. I teach teams how to become more culturally humble, meet with corporations, organizations, nonprofits, teaching their teams how to become more culturally humble, how to embrace other cultures, and to open themselves up to diversity. So that's what I do. Looking to engage with more people. I've been working with our local Chamber of Commerce's, places like that, but just want to get more of a stage. I've been on like smaller stages. I would say the most is like 150. So just wanting to get out there and increase my visibility. I think I've done everything I could with my profile. So I'm just looking for some tips, some advice of what else I could do to get noticed. And I'm continuously also posting on LinkedIn to see if I can get more visibility there. But so far, things are a little slower than I expected with my takeoff from Speaker Hub. So I thought I would come here next to see if I could get any assistance.
Yep. No, that makes sense. So how long have you been speaking?
Gosh, of course, off and on, pretty much most of my adult life. But professionally now, I launched my own business, Cultural Humility Consulting, and I launched that in May. Actually, April of 2024. So I'm an LLC now, and made it official.
Okay. And what products do you offer outside of just speaking?
That's it. That's the only product, working on a book. And I think that solidifies you a little more as an expert, gives you a little more credibility. So I'm also an adjunct professor. I think that is a little more help. But so far, I'm just kind of questioning. I'm like, maybe I need to go ahead and write that book just to have that tangible credibility.
Okay.
But
And
no,
are you
no
looking
other
at,
services that I offer other than the speaking with my business.
okay, cool. So are you looking to do speaking full time, or are you looking to stay working in your current career as an adjunct professor and the other things you do? Or are you looking to say, hey, I just want to do speaking and run the new LLC that you just set up?
No, I have a couple of gigs, and I'd like to stay part-time at my full-time job. So I want to transition to being a full-time speaker and a part-time my other career where I'm an international flight attendant. So I want to make sure I keep those benefits as well. So I don't. That's something I'm not willing to let go, considering how things can be so. I guess I would say nothing's guaranteed. Let's put it like that. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I want to keep. What did it say? Don't quit your day job. I listen to the advice.
No, that makes sense. Well, go
Yeah.
ahead and add me to your buddy pass, and then I got you. I'll take care.
There is a line. Look out your window. It's a line going around the corner for that.
Hey, that sounds like the same line that the speakers that want to get booked. So I understand.
There's a line, but yeah, so I want to keep that, and it's extremely flexible. So it's not something that I can't continue to do, but just limit my hours to bare minimum, just to keep all the benefits.
Yep. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's the highest amount you've been paid so far for speaking?
3,000.
Okay. And do you get that consistently, or is that
No, that was just for a 1 day thing.
good? All right, cool. And I want to ask you a quick question. Hey Bart, good to see you. Janika, good to see you. Sharon, Janessa, good to see you guys again. Luana, do you know what the average number of speaking gigs? There's 1.3 million speakers worldwide. What do
Mm-hmm.
you think the average number of speaking gigs that a speaker does per year? And these are professional speakers that are doing it as a career.
Gosh, I'm gonna go with maybe twice a month. So 24,
Okay, it's
24
five.
engagements, 5 a
Five.
year.
Yep.
Oh, okay, well, I'm not putting the day job for sure. I calculated that real quick.
That's why we do these meetings, right? Because everyone out there that's selling courses and all these other things, they're selling the dream of the top 5% of speakers and what they end up doing. What we chose to do here at Speaker Up is just give you the bare facts and allow you to make the right decision, and then we support you in whatever decision you choose to make. Does
Hmm.
that make sense?
Yes.
So, but yeah, the average speaker does 5 gigs a year. So the majority of them are part time because there isn't enough full time income for them to just be a speaker alone.
Hmm.
Because speaking is only one product, right? If you
Hmm.
were to think about Apple, where they have the mice, they have the iPhone, they got the keyboard, they got headphones, right? That they sell. They sell chargers. I mean, I got so much Apple crap on my desk, right? I got a MacBook and all these other things. That's their product mix,
Hmm.
right? Our job at Speaker Up is to help speakers to become better business owners. And what we mean by that is imagine going to um, um, a, a company and they only have one product, right? That company probably would struggle compared to their other, even the basic companies like um, McDonald's, right? McDonald's is known for hamburgers, but they sell more breakfast things.
Hmm.
Or even if you just went and got ice cream from McDonald's, they can give it to you in a McFlurry with the chocolate chips in it. They can give it to you on a cone. They can give it to you on a sundae. It's the same crappy ice cream. They've just created different ways to deliver that same product. Is that fair?
Yes.
Right? So as a speaker, your voice is one way to deliver that product. So let's say that's a basic ice cream cone. But then you can put a little bit of caramel syrup on it and put it in a cup, right? And that's a book.
Hmm.
But then you can put the Oreos in it with the Twix and the Butterfinger, and that becomes your online course, and that's the McFlurry.
Okay.
You see how it's the same base message, but you're
Hmm.
just delivering it in a different way.
Yes, I completely understand. And I actually started something by the name of Movie Mondays, which I've posted on Eventbrite. So that would be my butterscotch on the Sunday, just basically just spreading myself out and diversifying my portfolio. However, I've noticed that the Movie Mondays just really hasn't caught on. And I just thought it was really a great idea to get people engaged with culture, learning through film.
Yep. No, I think that could be a great idea. Let me give you the basic product. So everyone here, we're going to talk about how do you create a product today, and how do you do that as a speaker, or as a thought leader. The main way to build anything is to first listen to your audience. There are a lot of great ideas that are great ideas to the entrepreneur, but it's not what the customer is willing to pay for,
Hmm.
right? So the job of an entrepreneur is to solve a problem that someone's willing to pay to make go away. Let
Okay.
me say it again. You got to solve a problem that somebody's willing to pay to make go away, right? Now, I didn't want a $300 microphone until I listened to myself on the $3 microphone. Right? When I had crappy audio, I had to be willing to pay a little bit more to make the crappy audio go away.
Hmm.
Right? So somebody on the radio stations, they got to broadcast to millions of people, so they probably got a $3,000 microphone. Or if I'm Beyonce, I got a $10,000 wireless microphone that only works for my voice, right?
Hmm.
So, but our job as entrepreneurs is to solve problems that people are willing to pay to make go away. Now, let me tell you how you can do that with your movie Mondays. It may not be that people don't want that. It may be that people don't know that it's available. So what we teach all the time is going on podcasts talking about our new ideas and our new concepts so that we can build an email list of people who are interested in the things that I'm talking about. So then if Movie Mondays is a way for me to introduce that to them, I can email my list and say, hey, we have this thing called Movie Mondays that we're going to be offering. You liked my Taco Tuesday, so now we can do Movie Monday, right? If you're interested, you can come to that. But just posting it on Eventbrite, that doesn't mean that someone is looking for that because they don't know what Movie Monday is.
True.
Let me give you a great example. Can you tell me what the speaker flywheel is?
Yeah, it's different points of, I did view that. It's just showing different points of, gosh, I can't articulate it, but it was just touching on different points to make, to be able to get speaking gigs.
Yeah, no. The reason why I asked that is because before you saw it with us, you had never heard of it,
No, I had
right?
not.
So we had to introduce it. And even though we introduce it all the time, it still hasn't stuck with everybody just yet. So it's our job to reintroduce that to you on every call. We talk about it every day. We put it on the homepage, it's in every email because it's something that you're not used to hearing. So the same way with Movie Mondays. Somebody may have saw it, but they didn't really understand what you was talking about with Movie Mondays. But if they're on your email list, then every Tuesday, you're saying, don't forget to come to Movie Mondays next week. And on Friday, you say, hey, yo, Movie Mondays is in 2 days, and this is what we're going to cover. Now you learn how to promote a product.
Repetition. Got it.
Right? So it's not just build it and they will come. It's pre-sale. Let me give you a great example. You ever been to tell me what do you enjoy doing, Luana? And I'm not picking on you. This is just how we do it. We just talk to everybody in general because we use the topics that you come up with so that we can educate everyone. So I'm not picking on you. I want to make sure you understand it.
No, I know you're not picking on me. It's just what I get for coming on first.
Oh, we would have picked you anyway.
When I popped in first, I thought I was going to pop into like 30 or 40 people and back with my camera off and do a little listening. And it hasn't.
No, people come in and out all day, and you're here with a bunch of the regulars today.
It has not worked out that way. I'm good though. Don't no worries. But it's still kind of funny. I'm like, okay, this is not what I was expecting. As I'm sitting here with my hoodie on.
Yeah, we got you. What do you enjoy doing?
What do I enjoy doing? Relaxing, believe it or not. Relaxing at home with my doors locked, closed, windows closed. And so I know that sounds very, very boring, but I enjoy looking at historical films in my home. I have to travel very, very, very often. So when I get the opportunity, I want to be in my house. So I enjoy sitting, like I just looked at the new Tyler Perry film, gosh, 60, whatever the numbers are. What was it? Triple six, triple. It's the young
triple six, triple eight.
Thank you. And that was very enjoyable. As I said, historical movies where I feel like if I want to be entertained, but also I want to be educated and learn something about, again, culture.
So let's say you were going to go to the movie theater to see a movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
When do you pay for the movie?
Either in advance or in person.
Right. But they don't let you pay for it at the end if you like it, right?
Right. Correct.
So the reason why I bring that up, the only service in the world, there may be two, but the one that you really can't fight, I would say hairdressers and restaurants. It's the only two places where you don't pay first. And depending on how much, if you get braids or something as a woman, it's going to be $400. They probably going to make you pay first before they get started, before you run out there. Like, Ange, they make Ange pay first just in case if she try to run out the door on them,
At least a deposit.
Definitely a deposit. Yep.
Exactly. But at a restaurant, you can go in and eat the filet mignon and the lobster, and they'll give you the bill at the end. But everything else in life is pre-sold, right? You sell it ahead of time, and you can deliver it down the road. But what that allows you to do is to get feedback from the customer, right? Before you produce the event, before you do the course, before you create training, pre-sell it to the customer. That way you can develop it and make sure that you're actually solving the problem that they want to solve. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I've learned working with a lot of speakers is that they say, well, I'm just going to get on stage now. And as I get better on stage, I'll start developing my product mix down the road. And I think that that's a mistake. I think you have to do both, because if you start applying for speaking gigs with us today, you would be applying for speaking gigs in July of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens in those 6 months in between now and 2025? I mean, between now and July when the speaking gig comes up. You just sit at home watching movies,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you could be training other people or helping other students that want to become more culturally sensitive, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wish I'd have had you when I was in high school. I would have paid more attention in Spanish class.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being is I took Spanish in high school for 3 years. I didn't learn anything. I just was able to skate through the classes. But now that I live in South America, I learned real quickly how poorly Americans treat foreigners in the US. Because I've seen people say, speak English, you know? Well, you need to learn English if you're going to live here. I've seen people just be so rude. And it's like, wait a minute. This person is a doctor or a lawyer in their country. You're being rude to them at Pizza Hut. like really? You're the Pizza Hut person being rude to someone who's highly educated in their main language, but they're new to your land.
Yeah, and those people who are rude like that, they've never traveled abroad usually. They've never studied abroad, and they've never tried to learn another language because it's hard.
Yep. So, Luana, a lot of people weren't here when me, you, and Ange first entered the room. You want to tell everyone else what you do?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I'm Luana Boone. I am an adjunct professor. I'm also an international flight attendant. I have combined those two together and to create my business, which is called Cultural Humility Consulting. And with my business, I teach people how to become more culturally humble. Nonprofits, corporations, talking to their teams about learning to embrace other cultures.
Yep. Yeah. So, but yeah, so I think that there's a lot that you can do in the meantime using the flywheel. Getting on podcast is one way, right? But while you're on those podcasts, you're going to need a product or a service to give them a call to action to, so that you can monetize that appearance, right? If you were to think of the top 5 speakers that you like, I would almost promise you that, well, I'll ask you, if you think of the top 5 speakers that you like, how many of them have you heard live and in person?
The top 5 that I like. 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you got caught up in their flywheel. You watched the movie by them. You read a book. You saw them on YouTube. You may have listened to a podcast. You may have heard them on a radio episode. You may have bought a training from them, but you didn't hear them live.
Mm-hmm.
And the mistake that most speakers make is that they do the opposite of their favorite speakers. They say, I only want to do live gigs where they pay me. But I'm like, but you haven't paid to hear your person that you like. You heard them through a YouTube, or you heard them through a podcast, or you heard them through something else, or you bought a book or a training from them, but you haven't paid to hear them live. So we have to think about the entire product mix and the marketing mix of how we get our messages out there. That's what we teach at Speaker Hub. That's why the flywheel is so important, because when you're first starting out, when we Google Luana Boone, let's do it here. Let me pull it up.
Lord have mercy, I am on the hot seat.
No, this is what we do to everybody. We want to make sure we
Okay.
give you the tools. This is stuff that people paid $3,000-$4,000 for a mastermind thing just to find out, right? Like they don't get this type of coaching. All of your favorite speakers are my clients. This is why they do it. So here it is. We got you. We type in your name. It is working. This is what we call inbound. Your website is there. There's your LinkedIn, and then there's your Speaker Hub profile. So you are doing it right. Right?
And YouTube right under.
Yep. YouTube is right under. This is exactly what it should be. Got all your photos. Boom. You're ready. This is good. This is even a course. Move Mondays. Perfect.
That's why I got on here, because I'm like, I think I've done my part. I'm like, what else should I be doing?
Yep.
So
Yep. So that part of the flywheel is what we call inbound. Right? And I'm going to show you that here. Right? So on the flywheel, this is where you get inbound leads, where people search for you. Right? Do you use Speaker Hub Pro for outbound?
I'm not exactly sure.
Okay. So we'll say that that's a no, and I'll show you why you want to do that. Because outbound is where you aren't waiting on people to find you. You can go and get the folks you want. You can go pitch the stages you want to be on. So
yeah, I've gone to the conferences, if that's what you meant. Gone to the conferences and applied.
No, I'm going to show you something else.
Oh, okay,
So
sure.
remember, we teach this flywheel thing. Let me
Okay.
give you a little backstory. I'm Ron. I bought Speaker Hub in June. It was run by a company out of Belgium that only focused on that directory part where people could find you. The problem is that our database, the database at that time only had 8,000 organizers that had to search through 66,000 or 63,000. Wait, what? 56,000 before we bought it. 56,000 speakers. So there aren't enough stages for the number of organizers that were there.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
We ran a competing company that didn't have a directory, but we had 4 million people in a database. We had 3.5 million podcasts, 45,000 conferences, 173,000 media outlets, and 209,000 associations that all look for thought leaders and speakers. When you combine those together, you become unbeatable. So you got your inbound part right. What I'm about to show you is the outbound part, how you can get on the podcast, the associations, and the conferences that you want to be on. Okay. So here is my basic bio. I just put in my basic information here, and I'm going to change this to I help. What did you say? I help organizations
Become more culturally humble.
become more culturally humble by doing what? By
workshops.
Okay.
Transformative workshops.
Do you have a framework of your own?
Meaning?
Okay, we'll help you with that, right? We're gonna help you create a framework so that if you ever heard of like the 7 habits of highly effective people,
Mm-hmm.
that's Stephen Covey's. If anybody tries to use that, we know they stole it from Stephen Covey, right? If you hear the speaker flywheel, people stole that from Speaker Hub. So we got to get you your own framework. That's the Luana Boone humble framework, whatever you want to call it. We'll help you to develop that, right?
Okay.
Right? By implementing my
we improve cultural knowledge. That is what's on my website.
Okay, but let's just do this. Let's keep it simple really quickly right here.
Sure.
Say it culturally humble by implementing my aware framework. We'll call it that. We'll just make it up. Aware or a kind framework. Right? So we're gonna leave it as that. And then I'm gonna have the AI rewrite my entire bio as if I'm you and we talk on the same topic.
Mm-hmm.
So look, no hands is gonna rewrite my entire bio. And I'm going to be a cultural consultant. And this is just for illustration purposes. So give it a few seconds. Right? So there it is. right? With passion for fostering inclusivity, I guide organizations towards cultural humility through my unique kind framework. My approach is centered around empathy, active listening, and understanding, enabling teams to break down the cultural barriers and foster more harmonious, diverse environments, right? So let's say that's what I talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, when I click on podcast, it's going to automatically start giving me podcasts I should be going on to cover this topic,
Okay.
right? So let's say I want to go on the Connecting the Dots podcast, which is about, creating holistic management systems for people and processes, right? I can listen to this podcast or I can just add it to a list, right? And when I click pitch, it's going to write a personalized pitch to that podcast host asking if I can come on to be a guest to talk about my topic about cultural humility.
Mm-hmm.
So give it a second there, and there's the pitch there.
Oh, great. Yeah, see, I did not see this, and I thought I had searched through the entire website. I have not seen this at all.
Yep. So
where did you actually go to this? I mean, it was very quick when you
yep,
clicked.
I'll show you how to do it. I wanted to show
Okay.
you what the capabilities are, then
Yeah.
I'll give you access as soon as we're done. Give me 2 seconds to finish
Okay.
this, okay?
Well, I'm
Right?
excited.
So, but you see how this wrote a customized message for that podcaster,
Mm-hmm.
right? It does the same thing for local associations that I want to go speak at. You see, it's giving me the cultural festivals and things that I can go talk at,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I can click on it, learn a little bit more about it, add it to a list the same way, and pitch just like we do podcasts,
Okay.
right? So it's going to write a message here just like it does with everything else. And you'll give it a second and you'll see. There it is. Hey, Laurel, are you looking for speakers for your upcoming events at the Newton Cultural Alliance? How cool is that?
Very nice. I
Right?
didn't even know it was on here. As I said, I was only pitching to conferences. I did not even see this.
Yep. So we also have the conferences, starts showing you the different conferences and media outlets. If you want to write on that topic about communicating in different cultures, things of that sort, you can write on those different topics also. This is what we call Speaker Hub Pro. This is the outbound part of the Speaker Flywheel. Over here with just the profile, you're just waiting on people to find you, right? So if nobody comes in and searches for cultural, what do you call it? Cultural humility, which may not be a common term yet, right? You may never get booked for a gig because that's a term that you created that everyone else isn't familiar with. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what the flywheel does is that it allows you to reach out and to introduce that topic. So watch this. I'm going to show you something really cool. Let's say, for instance, I want to come in, I want to go on Diverse Teens podcast, right? Now I can put that in and it's bringing up all different types of podcasts that are about diversity in teens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If I look at the episodes, it brings up all of those. So I can go on any of these different podcasts that cover those topics, right? Language learning, right? It's bringing up all of these. Now, why do I pick language learning? Because I know that anybody who's trying to learn a language is trying to go to a different culture and go to a different country someplace for travel or to live. So that's the perfect audience for you to be talking to.
True.
Right? So, but this is what we do. This is the gist of it. And we use podcasting as a way to get the message out and then build your audience so that when you do have a speaking gig, people say, oh, I want to go to hear her. I remember her from this or that. And then now TED and all these other stages become a bit more interesting because you have the credibility on the backside. You have great pictures of events that you've already done, right? So it's not like you're not new to this. You're true to this. We see you doing it, right? We just got to get you in front of more people that understand the value of what you're bringing to the table.
Okay, sounds good.
Is that fair?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that because as I said, I pitched to a few conferences. I just typed in women, I typed in multicultural and stayed away from all the tech stuff because I'm not techie. And I found a few conferences and I pitched one. I've gotten a response from, and waiting to hear more back from them. But this part I was not aware of, so I need to go to Speaker Hub Pro to access
Yep.
that.
So here's what you were probably using the conferences up here at the top, correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So those are our publicly facing conferences, but we keep the good stuff over in Speaker Up Pro.
Oh, okay.
I'm just being real with you.
Okay.
It's like the what they say, they got the beer and the champagne.
Mm-hmm.
This is because people be trying to steal our stuff. So we just
Oh.
put the beer on the outside.
Well, yeah, I understand that. That's how I felt about the movie Mondays because I know that I created that all out of my head. And it's like now I'm seeing everyone, a lot of people just like, um, little snippets here and there. And I'm like, especially people I know. And I'm like, interesting.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's kind of hard to, and it's not like you can get some of these things patented or anything like that because anyone could say I had the exact same idea. But it was just kind of ironic that I started to see and hear that a lot more lately. And maybe it could just be that I'm more observant.
Mhm. Yeah, they call that the reticular activation system. When you
Mhm.
buy a red car, all of a sudden you notice everybody else's red cars.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So
Yep.
I'm trying not to be too sensitive about it, but
Yeah, no, AJ, good to see you. Well, Luana, I'm glad you joined us today. Hopefully, we make you feel at home. Don't feel singled out. Everybody that's on this call has been through a very similar conversation for the main reason, which is that we care. We can't help you to get on stages if we don't know what stages we can help you to get on. So, some people have been with us for years. AJ has been a client of ours since, I think, April of 2020. During the pandemic is when he joined us as a client.
Mhm.
Jadika is one of our rising superstars who's booking everything she can get her hands on regarding podcast. And Bart is building his brand with us, um, helping protect people from active shooter situations and things of that sort, which I just saw a video the other day of another person going through this. And it was tragic because they were outside of a nightclub and everybody was running into the bar to hide. And the security dude was so busy looking, he didn't close the door. And then the guy comes into the daggone bar and shoots up the bar.
No, no.
All the security guy had to do was stop being nosy and shut the door. But
Right.
that's not what he chose to do, which caused another issue. So instead of protecting everyone that was inside, it ended up causing a big problem. But we need people like Bart to tell their message, right? We need the self-carepreneur, Sharon, to help people like me to take a day off. Because I think I work a little bit too much. But this is what we do. So hopefully you feel at home with us. We would love to help you to get on more stages. Let me show you how you can get access to Speaker Up Pro. I'm actually going to put the link in the chat to make it easier so you don't even have to search for it.
Okay.
And you can get a 7-day trial. It won't give me the link. 1 second here. So I'll just have to show you how to do it because I just broke the thing. When you go to speakerup.com, you're going to see an orange button that says start for free. And it's going to bring you down to choose a plan. And we do our plans in a very unique way. First off, we give you a 365-day money-back guarantee. If you can find another speaking software or coaching program that will give you a 1-year guarantee on that you get results and we will give you your money back, then introduce me to them because they stole it from us, right? But we're the only people who do this, right? Because we believe in what we do. So on the exploring package, this is for people who are just exploring a speaking career. They're not sure if they want to be speakers yet. They can choose to only go on podcasts. If they're an emerging speaker, meaning that they've been doing it for less than 3 years and the most that they've been paid is $3,000, they usually will look at our emerging package because they want to get on podcast and association stages. If they're more experienced, they've been doing it for a while, 4 to 8 years, they're usually charging $4,000 to $8,000. They're probably adding the larger conferences to their speaking opportunities, right? And then if they're elite, like Ann McNeil, her team is on this call now. They use over 1,000 pitches a month. They're sending 50 to 100 pitches a day, right? To conferences, podcasts, associations. She has a team. I think Janessa is on here and Michelle that are from Ann's team, where they send almost 100 pitches a day outbound. They're one of our elite speakers. They have one of our elite packages. So this is what we do. This is what we teach. This is what we guarantee. So you can try any of these programs. You know, we don't charge you up front. So you can try it, see if it's something that you want to use. And if it's something you want to use, you're welcome, right? If after a year you haven't been booked on anything or anything isn't working, send me a message. I will send you a refund. One thing I don't.
I think I've actually already paid for the experienced or emerging. I'm trying to check my email.
Let me check right now. I'll check.
Okay.
Let me see. And so you have our gold package. I don't want to share the screen because it has your private information on it. But you have the gold speaker profile, right? Which allows you to add your courses, all of your videos. So there's two different sections. There's the profile, and then there's the Speaker Hub Pro. So they're two separate things. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right. So your profile looks great. That is incredible. But the outbound part of it, that's the other part of the Speaker Hub, of the Flywheel, that's missing. That gives you a bit more control. With just the profile, it's wait and see. With the outbound, with Speaker Hub Pro, it's I'm going to get them. I'm not waiting on nobody. I'm gonna go get what I want.
Yeah, well, that's me.
Yep. So here's what I'll do. I'll make a super cool deal with you. Sign up for the one that you want on the profile. I mean on the page I just showed you, right? Speaker Hub Pro, right? If you keep it, you say, okay, yeah, this is really what I want. I'll refund the profile and still let you have the gold one. Is that a good deal?
Repeat that.
You paid $349 for the Speaker Hub Gold on December the 8th.
Okay.
If you choose to go with Pro, once it charges you there, send me a message. I will give you a refund on the Gold, the $349 that you paid.
Okay.
I will give you a refund on that if you upgrade to Pro. Is that fair?
Yes, it's very fair. And again, this was, I'm so glad I got on today because all of this is what I was not understanding. And I kept like emailing folks, trying to get some information. What am I doing wrong? I've put all this information, uploaded everything. I thought my profile looked good and I wasn't hearing for anyone. So this is good advice, very helpful call.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, and let me make sure. So I'm sure were you getting responses back from Raquel?
Yes, I was. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I'm about to say you didn't get a response back from Raquel.
No. I got a response, and she sent me like a document of different things that I could do to assist me, different bullet points of do this, do that, and I'm like, okay, that's done. You know. And then the last thing was me getting on this call to see what was going on here. So that's what I hopped on today.
Yeah. So
Luana,
really quick, Ange. Because again, there's 63 or 64,000 people that have the profiles, right? But that's really to help you be found in Google if people are searching for that in Google, right? Versus 90% of gigs are from people reaching out to the event. It's not just I have a profile, someone's going to find me. It's you proactively pitching. So
Mhm.
what I want to show you really quickly is like the activity that some of our clients are doing. So you see Israel Duran so far this week, even with the holidays, he sent 107 pitches,
Wow.
right? Dr. Karen Prudent has sent 56.
Mm-hmm.
Jasmine, who used to manage the boxer Lennox Lewis, has sent 35,
Okay.
right? And her team has sent 6. Melissa has sent 27, but for the month, you get Ann has sent 640 for the
Mm-hmm.
month. They must be out. I need to get them some more, right? Dr. Karen sent 705.
Wow.
Bart, who's on the call, sent 235, right? So people are constantly pitching, right?
Okay.
Because that's what it takes. I mean, it's not, oh, I filled out 10 and I didn't hear anything back from the 10. Well, you're gonna lose to Janika because Janika goes to 400. You're gonna lose to Sharon because Sharon's constantly pitching, right?
Okay.
So we made the process so easy for you just to be able to let the AI write the pitch and let it be sent. Um, you know, that's what we found works. So that's kind of my TED talk. But if you want to ask any questions to anyone that's on the call, everyone that's on this call use the system every day. So they could tell you what to expect, or if it's a waste of time, or if they've been getting results. I'll let you all have that conversation if you would like. But Ange, what were you about to
Just
say
a
real
quick
quick?
question for Luana. How did you find out about the call today?
From Rachel.
Oh, from Raquel.
Rachel?
It was in the
Raquel,
email.
yeah.
Raquel put it in.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that's how I found out
Perfect.
today, because I kept reaching out to her. And again, she was responsive. Kept reaching out to her, like, what am I doing wrong? I thought, of course, as I said, I'm also new to professional speaking. So it's lots of layers of me getting, the LLC. So I've been super, super busy with so many different things, just 360. And of course, having 2 other occupations. So after that, it's like, okay, I'm not hearing back from anyone. So I thought it was put up your profile and start hearing back from people. And that was I was just a little naive, obviously. And so now I'm like, okay, now I've sent out several to the conferences, of 3 or 4 conferences. But I was not really finding conferences that really meshed with what I do. Or some that say we don't cover this and we don't cover that. I'm like, okay, what do you cover? So, and then I said, well, I've got to be doing something wrong. So that's when I reached out to Raquel again and said, and then I saw on the information, her list of things to do to get on this call. So that's what I thought I was going to hop in on today and listen to everyone else talk.
You're the superstar today.
I see by default. I would have
We're
dressed
happy
for
you're
the
here.
occasion if I would have known, but no, but this is all super helpful.
Well, Luana, we're here every day, Monday through Friday, same time next week. We won't be here Tuesday and Wednesday because of New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, but feel free to hop in anytime.
Oh, I
Anytime.
will. Yes, I look forward to it.
Yep. So yeah, if you have any questions that you want me to answer, or any of the other members that are on the call, they're always answering questions and giving feedback and suggestions. They discover things in the software that we don't know, and they tell us and we fix them. So everything that you see is built by speakers just like you, based on your guys' feedback and what you think will make it better. So we're always open to feedback. We're a firm believer that we can't hold you accountable to achieving your dreams if you're not going to hold us accountable to helping you, right? So we believe accountability goes both ways. So you ain't never gonna hurt my feelings telling me how I can make this better. If you ask AJ will tell you. If you saw the original Speaker Hub, original PitchDB before we bought Speaker Hub, it didn't have AI. We only had about 3,000 speaking gigs. It was bad, but over time we've continually gotten better based on the feedback of people like you.
Okay. I do have one question. Those folks that were sending out the 300 and 400 per month, what are some of their callback responses? AJ, have you done like 600 or 700 in a month, or 200 or 300 in a month, and how many people do you hear back from, and how many stages has that landed you? I mean, just some roundabout information about that.
For me, I think I would say for every 15 or 20 I send out, I get a response.
Mhm.
And that number goes up significantly if I follow up. My biggest thing, like a lot of people, is we don't follow up enough.
Mm.
So we send the emails, and so this is the one thing that I would tell you. I love the leaderboard. What you'll realize is when you get started, you'll want to be number one until you realize I have to follow up with all these people. So you have to decide, do I want to be a leader in pitching or do I want to be a leader in speaking?
Oh.
So once I think it's a cool vanity thing, and it does help you get in the momentum of pitching. But then once you start, you realize if I really want to like maximize this, I need to spend a lot of time following up. So, but yeah, once you follow up, those numbers actually go down from like 1 to 20, maybe to 1 to 10.
Okay, and then a lot of times your follow-up, they may even have a questionnaire that's 20 questions. So that could be quite lengthy. Write this, write that, and tell us this and tell us that. So yeah, I can see how that could
Yeah.
be very time consuming.
Yeah, the more popular the podcast is, it's the more people that are pitching them to get on it, the more they're gonna have you jump through hoops. And a lot of people just don't want to jump through hoops. So that's where you can win. That's your opportunity to win.
And are majority of the podcasts paid?
No, well, I feel like this. They don't pay beforehand, if that's what you're asking, but you can get money from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. All podcasts pay if you say the right thing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So let me give you a little context to that, because we teach that's why I was asking you earlier about other products and services, right? So we built our entire business with no outside advertising, only me going on podcast as a guest, right? So let me show you what I mean, right? One thing we make the promise to everyone that ever works with us here at Speaker Hub, we don't teach anything that we don't live, right? So if we teach it, we live it. So we believe that we should be able to show proof for everything, every claim that we make, right? So here's a guy who said, "Hey, Ron, I just listened to you on Chantel Henry's podcast on YouTube. It was great teaching on using LinkedIn to reach potential clients. How can I engage you for your services? But if I don't have any services and I'm only a speaker, I can't sell them anything." Right? Dennis Edmonds. "Hey, I saw you on YouTube. I don't put any YouTube videos. They saw me on somebody else's podcast. How can I purchase an hour of your consulting?" Claudine McDaniel, she sent me a photo. She said, "Hey, I saw you on this podcast. Here's a picture of it." She wrote a whole thing. Good Lord. I didn't realize she wrote all of that. Right? But this is where people find me. They see me on other podcasts and other people's YouTubes. Now, if I don't have any other products or services to sell, only my voice, what I'm gonna tell them? "Hey, I got a speaking gig in Phoenix, Arizona in February. Come out there."
Okay.
I gotta have another way for them to be able to buy my cultural sensitivity training. Do you see what I mean? I gotta have some other way for them to experience me once they've heard me on that podcast.
Right, because you don't want to lose them.
Exactly. So there's 3 ways to get paid from a speaking gig. You can get paid before, you can get paid during, or you can get paid afterwards. If it's a podcast, there's no way for you to get paid beforehand because we're not famous. Usually we're not going to get paid during the recording because it's just me and the podcast host. It's my job to get the money after I've recorded it by performing well giving them a taste of me live on that podcast, but also having a strong call to action so that I can get paid by selling services outside of there. Is that fair?
It is.
Right? Janika, I know Janika has turned podcast into speaking gigs and a bunch of other stuff. So, she was our leader for like 4 weeks straight on the leaderboard. So I'll let her talk more about what you were, go a little bit further than what AJ went in.
Just like what AJ said about follow-ups is very important, because when I first came on board, my competitive nature kicked in and I was just, getting all the podcasts I could possibly get. And then the reality kicked in that I got to do follow-ups. And then I had all this list of follow-ups I had to do. But what I say is going through that experience helped me to put a system in place in terms of being able to promote myself on podcasts and follow up. And with that, one of the things that I found that was most helpful for me, most of my podcast interviews came through the follow-ups, not my first entry. It came through following up to the point that I have podcast bookings, and I started this in November. That's going all the way up to March right now, and I'm moving into April because now is when most podcast hosts are putting their schedules together for 2025. So this program works if you do exactly what you're instructed to do. That's post, and it works.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And also hearing that January is when they start building their schedules. That's informative as well. Just keeping that in the back of my mind.
Yep. So basically, here's kind of how it looks. If you're reaching out to podcasts, you'll probably be booked anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks out from the day that you get confirmed. If you're reaching out to local associations, you'll probably get booked 1 to 2 months out. They're usually 1 month ahead for bringing in their speaker for the next month. The associations have meetings on a monthly basis, and usually they'll do an annual conference. So you got 13 opportunities with every association because they're going to do a meeting every month for their groups. They may be virtual or they may be live, right? So your goal is to reach out to enough so that you get, okay, if I want to do 2 gigs a month with associations, I need to be reaching out to them right now in January for their February or March meeting because they probably already got January already sold up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And if you're reaching out to conferences, those are minimum 6 months out. So conferences that you reach out to in January of this year, you should be reaching out to those that are in the US would be considered, when you click on the filter here, you can pick the season. You want to be reaching out to summer or fall. You don't want to be reaching out to winter or spring because we're already in winter, and spring they've already started marketing that conference and already booked everybody.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I already figured that part out because that's they've got to get everything a schedule lined up and confirmed.
So that's why we teach the flywheel, so that you can be busy while you're waiting on that conference to come. Right? And if you're able to sell a product or a service or consulting, imagine most of these association gigs, they don't pay a lot up front, but you get clients out of them. They say, hey, can you come teach a workshop at my business? Or do you do training for our leaders on this topic? Can we hire you to do that training? But if you don't have that in the product mix, opportunity's lost.
Right. Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah. And a little more about me. I spent a great deal of time pondering on which one I would go with because there was, several other unnamed speaking associations. So I was trying to figure out which one would work better for me. Did I want something local where I had to, drive to local events to meet up with people and get that one-on-one in-person feel, or did I want to do something where you would meet people from across the country and on, Zoom? So that was another portion of my.
Where are you located?
I'm in New Jersey.
Okay, so let's come in here and we're gonna just put in New Jersey in our search here, right? Because we can filter the associations by state. So I'm just gonna put in New Jersey, if I can find it, bam, and I'm gonna hit filter. And let's just talk on leadership. Let's just put something in there like that, right? So in New Jersey, there's a gang of, I'm just gonna put New Jersey in the search because this is messing me up.
No, I meant like NSA speakers,
Oh yeah, no, I got you. I totally get it.
Okay,
what I'm saying is we got 24,000 associations in New Jersey. Now, why is that important? Because there's only 3 speeches you can give. Only 3 speeches have been given in history. You can teach someone how to be a better leader. You can teach them how to improve a skill, or you can teach them how to make money. Every speech falls into one of those three categories. Yours is leadership and skill building, right? Which means you can go talk about that anywhere. The Chamber of Commerce, they need leadership. Hey, DEI is a thing for a reason. Okay, right? They need leadership in that area, but they need to build the skill of being culturally aware and culturally sensitive. That is a skill. Does that make sense? So you got a lot of opportunity. 24,000 associations in New Jersey. And if you're in East Orange or Patterson, I don't know which part of Newark, wherever, my family lives in Newark, I'll type in Newark. I got 311 associations I can go talk to in Newark. That way I ain't got to leave the area. I can put in East Orange and I can go talk there, right? Right? They got a lot of opportunities for you. So all I'm saying is don't limit yourself to your topic. Think of the category that it fits in. Is it a leadership talk? You can take that everywhere. Is it a skill building talk? You can take that everywhere. Every stage possible.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, and it's not just DEI, but just also about motivation and staying motivated and building your brand. So yeah, I speak on quite a few things, but just needing to get more visibility.
Yep. But does this help? What I just showed you?
Oh no, this is invaluable. I'm really enjoying it. Thank you so much.
Yep. Sharon is our newbie. She's been with us for about 3 weeks. How's things going in your world, Sharon? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, this is really good information. Because one thing I say by being new, I mean, you just don't know. It's kind of like, I just feel like there's just so much information out there. And there's a lot of good people. I mean, a lot of people who are doing good things. But I know that this is going to be very, very helpful. One, because of this connection in and of itself. And again, it's just so much information and you just don't know like where to go, what to do, how to put out there. And I will also say just in learning how, I kind of call it the system of speaking works because there's so many different things. So I really appreciate what you do, Ron.
No, I appreciate you all allowing me to help. Our job at Speaker Hub is to be an amplifier of speakers. We're not. I'm not a speaker. Ange is, but I'm not. Ange has spoken all over the world, but that's not my background. My background is getting people on stages. So I teach that. I do it. I live it, and my job is to transfer that over to you guys so that because everybody can't have a booking agent, right? So sometimes we got to represent ourselves. Like, look, I got to speak for myself. I ain't about to let nobody else negotiate for me. I know what I'm worth. So that's why we wanted to build Speaker Hub this way so that we could empower you to go after what you believe you deserve, right? So, Ann, good to see you. I know if Ann turned on her camera, she got something to say. I want to see. Nothing? Okay. All right. Ann is an incredible entrepreneur, and she does a great job with leading her team. They're here consistently, and we appreciate that. So it's 1:00. This is when we usually go into overtime. So if anyone has any other questions or comments or any other ways that you may want to be able to help out Luana, this is a great networking opportunity that we provide guys where maybe there's a gig that you can't go on, but somebody else can. I know AJ introduced like 5 people to different podcasts last week that he thought that they would be a great guest on when they introduced themselves. So we try to use this as a way to connect speakers together because this is a lonely business to be in by yourself. You're at home by yourself, sending pictures, hoping somebody like you, hoping somebody want to listen to you. It gets tough. It can mess with your ego. So we want to bring you together on here where you can talk with other speakers that are just like yourself and understand that you're not going through this alone. The old saying is if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with other people. I don't think that applies to speaking. I think speaking, if you go by yourself, you going slow, right? Because it's all about networking with speaking. You ain't doing this by yourself. And if you can use other people to help you and kind of give you, teach you the potholes not to step in, that will allow you to go faster. So with speaking, you go faster with other people, right? It's almost the opposite. If you want to go slow, try it by yourself. Google these web pages by yourself and start.
That's
You'll
why I'm
see.
here. That's why I'm here, because that's what I was doing. But thank you so much for everything, Ron and Angela. I appreciate it. I thank you, everyone, for all your advice. I really enjoyed meeting you, and I won't be so impersonal next time. As I said, I was not prepared.
No, it's all good. Welcome. You're always welcome, whether you want to turn your camera on or not. Angela's note takers never turned on their camera, so don't feel bad, you know. But that's just an AI robot. But good to see you all. If no other questions, I hope you all have a great weekend. If we don't see you before the new year, happy 2025. You know, hopefully your 2025 is double whatever you did in 2024. And we're here to help in any way possible. Any other questions before we head out? Nope. Cool. We got done early today. This is good. Usually we go an extra 45 minutes, but this is good. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.